You are listening to another episode of Beyond Clean with ACE, a service of the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. I'm your host, Dave Thompson. And since you're listening, you might as well know that you're about to hear us talk about something which has to be healthy, positive, and or proactive in the cleaning industry today. In 2018, the Academy launched the Rock Star series of motivational sessions in addition to our tactical classes, which are instructed weekly around the U.S. Now, industry professionals are here to talk, share their thoughts, and let you know what's on their mind. So turn up the sound and let's get talking. Folks, we're back here with another edition of our podcast and YouTube. This is Beyond Clean with ACE. Today we can, well, you can see on the screen, we have a new guest speaker. Well, he's not new, he's new this week, but Brian Consolino's been with us more than one time. He is with Atlanta MRO Supply, or as I say, Amros Tech. Brian, for those that haven't been on the show before, haven't heard you talk before, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and who Atlanta MRO Supply is.
Well, Dave, thanks for having me back. You must be recycling through old commentators to try to revamp you, but I appreciate you having me back. Again, I kind of grew up in this business in the cleaning industry. So I'd say I've been about 35 years in one fashion or another in the cleaning business with a family business back in Michigan. And my dad and I decided to start this crazy go around in the Atlanta market. And we've been going strong for 5 years in the Atlanta market. And we partnered with you about 2 years ago in the Academy of Cleaning Excellence as the Atlanta branch or campus for you. And we've had some good success.
And so I think, folks, that's what we're here today. So if you are a distributor of Jan-San goods, or you're a sales rep on the street trying to build a relationship with your clients, I think this is what we're here to talk to you today about. I've been on the street myself for many, many years as a distributor in Missouri. And so we brought all of this education to Orlando. And now what we're doing is we're doing teleconference, or if you will, web. Some people call it web conferences. I don't care what you call it. It's remote learning, but it's live. And we've done a number of these programs with you there in Atlanta. Tell everybody what you think about it.
Well, I can tell you in the beginning, we were a little curious as to the success that we would have with it. Like anything else, our industry is a little slow to change. So this is a new approach. As I just told you, I've been doing this for a number of years. And once I got past my arrogance of thinking that nobody could do it better than I could, and I accepted your help, Dave, we've had some really good interactions with some customers. A little concerned in the beginning about how this Zoom meeting technology would work without you in the room, but we've done it both ways. We've had you here live in Atlanta. We've been able to do a couple of opportunities where you stay in Orlando, and it's actually worked out really well both ways. I wouldn't say one is dramatically different than the other. Obviously, having you in person is fantastic. I was a little concerned in the beginning of not having you in person, but I think it's worked out really well both ways.
Okay, so let's give a couple of exact examples. Those are general thoughts, and I appreciate those. But if you're a distributor salesperson and this is your account, you've guarded this your whole life, you're not very open to somebody coming in and teaching your people. And you and I have both been on the side of that. You currently still are. So let's talk to a distributor rep right now. What are the fears and what is he going to expect?
Well, I kind of live my life by the motto of you learn something new every day.
Okay.
And I try not to pretend like I know everything that happens in this industry or I have every answer. So once in a while, like I said, I get past my ego and I find a guy like you that has a few more white hairs in your beard than I have in mine. And it gives me the ability to accept the fact that I can still learn. So I think the biggest concern somebody in my position would have is allowing or opening the door for somebody else to come in and work with my customer. And I think that's where once I got past the who's Dave Thompson and how's he going to come in and interact with my customers, I started to get more comfortable with, you're here to help me. You're not here to steal anything from me or bring my competition in. You're here to work with Atlanta MRO Supply and to give another viewpoint to my customer. A lot of times the customer may, when a manufacturer rep comes into town, for whatever reason, they may put a little more confidence in what the manufacturer has to say than just me, the lonely local distributor guy. So you're in that same fashion. When you come in with that expertise of many different opportunities of working as a distributor rep, as a sales consultant, anything across the board, you bring a new perspective in a lot of ways to a customer that's used to hearing the same thing over and over again.
Okay, so I just was doing something with another manufacturer's rep because we were here at a trade show here in Orlando this last week. And I think that was some of the conversation we were having, is the Academy of Cleaning Excellence and what we've put together is much like a manufacturer that has a list of offerings of things to sell for a distributor rep like yourself. So think of this as selling toilet paper or mops or buckets or floor pads. We're not talking about high dollar items like auto scrubbers and floor machines. We're talking about in the price category of a lot of commodity items. You're not talking about big rewards for the distributor rep, but you are talking about relationship building.
Exactly. And I would put you in a different category than the commodities, especially because this is not something that everybody in the industry offers. When you get to see the programs that you present to the customer, when you talk about the Rock Star Custodian platform, you're bringing a whole different message to my customer as opposed to what they're hearing every single day. What kind of mop bucket do you like to use? Can I show you a different chemical to do something? It just changes the conversation right off the top.
Okay, so now that you brought up the Rockstar program, folks, if you're listening or watching us today, we have two different avenues that we've developed here at the Academy. One is the tactical things, as Brian said, how to go about using all of the different tools, chemicals, and supplies that we have in our market. The other is the motivational series, the Rockstar program. We recently just did this with you there in Atlanta. I believe it was at the Atlanta Convention Center. And tell everybody about how that went.
Yes, Dave, it was the Georgia International Convention Center right at the Atlanta airport.
Okay.
Longtime friend of ours is now heading up the facility there. And he's been looking for new ways and opportunities to train his staff in a different light. And although they enjoy the opportunity to have us come in and show them how to clean a restroom or strip and refinish a floor or, carpet clean, all the traditional stuff, everybody today is looking for something a little different. And the Rockstar platform helps raise up the status, as you would say, of the frontline worker and how to build a successful working team. And it was interesting because we did session 1 and session 2. And after you completed session 1, the facility manager pulled me aside and whispered in my ear. And he said, "You know what, Brian, it'd be really good if he talked to this specific topic." And that's exactly what session 2 was about. And he just threw his hands up and said, "Okay, I'll be quiet now. I'll let you guys just do your thing." So it was exactly what my customer was looking for, and he didn't even see it coming.
So what you're talking about here is, while that wasn't a program that resulted in a massive sale like an auto scrubber or new floor care program, it was helping you build a relationship that we could bring to offer. And I think you used 2 words, and I'd like to just key on those for just a moment before we finish this up today. Experience is one thing. You and I both have a lot of experience, but expertise is another. And I think that's why we're joining with you, is to bring about a different expertise, but to bring both of our experiences to bear and actually provide a service to that end user customer.
I would agree with that. I think the white in your beard is the experience, And I think both of us with the same dome top is the expertise. So I think we're both in that category. One of my customers that I had at that Georgia International Convention Rock Star training, he's new to another one of my customers, just took over, and it was his first time experiencing something that we offered in the form of training. And I was a little concerned as to if this was exactly what he was looking for. He hasn't really opened up to me about what his main needs are, but he was willing to come and participate. And he was the most excited customer at the end of that show. He pulled me aside and said, I have been trying to deliver this message at every facility I've been at for 20 years, but I think my employees, it just falls on deaf ears because they don't like to hear it from their boss.
Right.
So what we gained from that training we did there was he has now asked us to come, have you actually come to Atlanta, go to their school and do this same presentation to his entire staff and campus of employees. So even though it wasn't an auto scrubber sale, it helped me with another customer to build that relationship and to bring something nobody else is bringing to the table.
Brian, I tell you what, that's the best testimonial. I did not know that happened. Thank you for telling me that now. I think the whole thing here is what you just said is whether the client is some person that you already are working with and have a relationship, or whether it's that newer client that you're not really sure about where things are going, what we're here to do is to help you move your sales, your relationship, and push that to a different level. You do your expertise, we do our expertise, and together we provide a service for that end user client that, quite honestly, some of the big box stores that the local independent rep is trying to fight, they can't bring this. And I thank you for your time today, Brian. Thank you for Atlanta MRO Supply for being our regional campus there. Any closing thoughts that you'd like to give before we end our show today?
All I would tell your prospective clients or customers out there, Dave, that are listening, is we all have to be humbled to a certain degree in this industry and not pretend like we all know everything. As I said, I try to learn something new every day. And if you give something new a try, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work. There's things that you can find, areas that will work for you, and then there's bigger pieces that can work even more for you. So it's not an all or nothing, jump in, can't do anything about it. But if you start to build and start to realize that your customers are starving for this type of knowledge and education, if you can be the one to bring it to them, it will pay dividends in the long run.
Brian, thank you, and also tell Phil thank you for letting you spend your time with me again. And no, I'm not recycling old stuff. You're still there. You're still on the front. You're still working with us. We appreciate it. Folks, if you've been listening to our podcast, you've been watching our YouTube channels, you can find all of the information. We have people that are coming on a regular basis. The industry is now starting to talk, and we are glad and we're very happy to be at the forefront of bringing about a different way of doing this. It may be new, as Brian said. It may not be completely crystal clear, but as more people join in, as more campuses like your distributorship join us, the more all of us are going to profit and reward our clients with a better service. Thanks for watching. Catch us on the next one. Bye, Brian.
See you, Dave. Thank you.